It has been pretty much over a year since I've actually uploaded a podcast to all you nice people. So hello.
After Hyde Man.
Listening to you and Justin, that's a professional podcast right there.
The man with a voice.
He's got a wicked voice on him too. He does. He's got oh my goodness. I listen to his voice. I'm like, dude, you could go places with that voice. You are freaking phenomenal.
Has his own podcast. And what does he think?
Oh,
BoyStick presents the Honestly Lazy Podcast.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Stick. Finally back to the podcasting after like a long year of being away from everybody. I decided to finally kind of, I don't know, get back into the groove of things because since my last ever episode of the Honestly Lazy podcast, I have still been itching to do it, but at the same time, there was a lot of things that kind of happened at once that really made me unmotivated to even think about making content. Through the past year, though, I did get kind of back into video creating. If you go over to my BoyStick account, there's definitely a few videos that I've been talking about. Pretty much just the YouTube boxing side of things, which surprisingly I'm very interested in, and I probably will be for a very long time. It might even become part of the channel. But for right now, yeah. This is episode 19 of the Honestly Lazy podcast. And if you're listening to this on Anchor.fm, which is one of the ways you can find it, you just type in the Honestly Lazy podcast and it will pop up. Then you are going to be missing 2 episodes because life sucks and I'm actually very lazy. And I never actually upload the last 2 episodes to Anchor. So they're not on Spotify or anything. So if you're for some reason listening to this on Anchor.fm, type it in the Honestly Lazy podcast, you have to go over to YouTube, type it in, and watch the last 2 episodes. I could actually check right now because I don't even remember what the hell they were even talking about. Because it's literally been a year since I actually, did a podcast. Let's see here. In the last episodes, I talked about 4 unique music movies to watch during quarantine or lockdown, which it's been a year and I'm still in, and almost getting scammed and trolling gone wrong. Yeah, those are the last 2 episodes. If you're interested in any of those, then you have to go over to YouTube, type in the Honestly Lazy podcast, and they will pop up for your enjoyment. I guess I should kind of say this. If you're watching this, there's either 1 or 2 ways. It's either on YouTube, type in the Honestly Lazy podcast, or Spotify or Anchor.fm. To me, they're both the same. And you type in the Honestly Lazy podcast and it will pop up. I mean, I'm sure a lot more people are actually watching on YouTube. I was more focused on the YouTube side of this. But who knows? I have gotten views on Anchor, not a lot, but people still watch it on Anchor. But yeah, it's been a while, and I honestly wasn't even too sure if I was even going to come back to doing podcasting. I don't know why, because I do have a lot of fun doing this, but in the last year, a lot of stuff has gone down. Like, one of the things, if you're watching this on YouTube, you may look around and realize, oh shit, this isn't the Honestly Lazy office. And the answer to that is it's not. I have actually moved out of the house that I was in, where pretty much all the original content was filmed, or all the original podcasts were filmed. And that was probably one of the best decisions I could have ever done for myself and to even get back into content. It was a big thing for me. Where I lived before was well, I called it the highway house because we literally lived on the side of the 115, and I it was a great place. It was a great place in its ways. It's not the ways that you're thinking. It was livable for about 2 of the 3 years I lived there. Actually, 1 of the 3 years I lived there. And the biggest thing is we could get away with anything. And where that sounds like a great thing, it turned into a very bad thing because all we did was really party. And when you're partying pretty much every weekend and you're working ridiculous hours through the week, the last thing you really want to do is make content. And I know on my list of things I want to do before I turn 25, one of them was to ease up on drinking. Well, I can straight up say I failed that. I failed it miserably, which is okay, you know. I feel like I kind of got it out of my system, but you know, down the road with the ideas that are coming to my head for content making, for podcasting and that type of stuff, I will still be having a couple drinks, but I mean, it wasn't what the highway house kind of brought me into. The highway house turned into every weekend drinks, booze, dope, just weed. And people were smoking weed. I never did. I am a huge, when I drink, I can smoke a pack of darts. And, you know, it was fun. It was really fun in the summer, but it turns into a lot of work. And when you live in the house where you're dealing with that work, it really does suck. On top of the fact that it was like 3 dudes living there, me, my brother, and a roommate. And my brother and I had the upstairs, and that's where everybody partied. And us just being men in general, we were very lazy with cleaning up. I mean, the house got pretty disgusting pretty quick. If I filmed anything there that was like a vlog, oh my god, I couldn't even imagine what YouTube comments would say about it. But I never did film anything like that. I think I filmed one video with Neil there, and we were outside actually, so you never got to really see the inside of the house. But it was just a massive party house. And after 3 years of living there, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty hard to say goodbye to that place. Just with all the memories that we had and stuff, it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be out because I moved out because I found a lady, and we finally took the big step. Well, not finally, but we took the big step and decided to move in together, which was a big kind of game changer for me, you could say. It was definitely something different and something that I'm still even adjusting to. Even though we've only been living together for like a month, it's definitely had its adjustments. And she came at the end of the highway house where it was just getting just out of control every weekend. And we thought we kind of had it under control, and then it kind of just went back to just absolute craziness, to the point where I get home from work and people be sitting on the front porch waiting for me just to have beers with. And a lot of the time I really didn't want to drink, and a lot of time, especially throughout the week, because I'm a type of guy that doesn't want to drink throughout the week because I hate hangovers. So I would have like a beer and then go hide, and I was a-okay with that. But besides it being a party house, we within our second year, we had a lot of issues with this house. And a lot of these issues, like, just messed with me so hard. Like, anxious every day. To the point where I didn't even like being home. I really did not like being home at all. I literally would be at work and just going through my head, what am I going to come home to today that's wrong with the house? I mean, some of the things that were just little, like we had broken door handles for 2 years, which was like, we could have fixed them. We didn't really care that much about that, but I mean, there was just bigger things, just water issues that, I mean, like, we couldn't shower. We had to drive to like our parents, and just kind of a lot of ducking and turning and a lot of arguments with the landlords that turned ugly pretty quick. And it really made it easier for me to say, let's get the hell out of here. And there was a bunch of strange stuff. One of the biggest things that happened that really made me not want to make content was, for some reason, this is one of the craziest things that happened in this house. And me and my brother and our roommates couldn't even believe that this was a thing that was happening in our house. So pretty much we had these water issues. We get them fixed. And then at the same time, only half our hydro's going out in this house, which usually just turned into, fuck it, we're drinking beer outside. But like, only half the hydro will go out in our house. And one of the places that go out was my whole office. I would not have light in my office. And at this point, I had my MacBook, which I could have probably still made content, at least done just an audio podcast. But as you will realize later on, you don't see the MacBook, and I'll tell you that story in a bit. But I don't have it anymore. So I could have kept filming, but I mean, a lot of times, especially in the winter time, I'd be getting home and not winter time, in the fall, because we had the hydro situation figured out, thank God, before winter. But one of the things that, sorry, I'm screwing myself up. My whole office will go out. Another anxious thing, you just don't know what the hell is going to happen, right? So anyways, one night, for some reason, this is the weirdest thing. So one night, my roommate's girlfriend's in the basement, and half the hydro goes out, and she's like, oh shoot, I was cooking something on the stove or something like that. And she found out if she turned the top left burner on, the hydro will come back on in the whole house. I mean, like each time the hydro will go out, that's all we had to do. It was the weirdest fucking thing. It was like something out of like a sitcom, like that. There's always something wrong with the apartment, so they have this weird way of fixing it. And in real life, we had an issue where half the hydro would go out, and you had to turn on a burner, and it would bring all the hydro back on in this house. I mean, it was just the weirdest thing. So because we had to pay utilities on top of our rent, we had to call hydro. And they came, and even they were like, this is some of the weirdest shit we've ever seen. And they had to, I think they had to come out twice or 3 times to switch out or do something to fix this. It was nuts. And they had to even check our, the things on the side of the house, the readers or whatever. Yeah, I'm not a hydro guy, but those things on the side of the house that tell you your hydro and stuff. And I mean, like, it was weird. Like, you would be in the middle of watching TV, and like, and the house, you would lose everything. Oh crap! I don't have hydro anymore. Okay, so you had to turn it on. And I mean, it took us a good 3 months. I mean, I have pictures of some of this shit that we jimmy rigged. One night, I figured out which plugs worked, and I dragged the TV off its stand and put on a little chair, and I had a bar, and into one plug we had the TV and the Wi-Fi, so we could still watch TV and have Wi-Fi until we passed out. But the shitty thing was when half this hydro went out, our fridge would go out. So that means, well, hopefully when we didn't know how long the hydro was going to be out, we would just sit there and say, well, hopefully it comes on soon because all of our shit's going to go bad. and we'll just have to drink our beer even faster. It kind of had its goods and bads. You know, you had to drink the beer faster, but then you had to go to the grocery store and buy more food. But there was a lot actually more wrong with that. There was I won't get into it. I'll just tell you about the hydro part. And I mean, in the middle of summer, it would go out, and I mean, that house didn't have AC or anything. Plus 40 degrees, and we don't even have fucking fans. Because the hydro go out to my room too, so I didn't have a fan going in the middle of the night, and the hydro sometimes didn't come on for the whole goddamn night. Usually that shit only happened on weekends, and usually we'd be outside drinking anyways, like I said, because there was nothing else to do, especially because of COVID. Me and the roommates would just go out and drink outside. And it was, hands down, last summer was one of the most gnarliest summers living in that house. And there was a lot of issues and a lot of bullshit. But we got through it. Thank God we got through it. And thank God I'm out of that house. Because it was drinking a lot. A lot of drinking. And because of the drinking, I do not have my MacBook Pro anymore. Which a lot of people were pretty upset about when I told them. I was actually watching the fights on my laptop. And I was drinking beer. And just tried to grab my beer. And it spilled. And the bottle literally landed right in the middle of my laptop and completely fried it. I lost so many photos, so much shit. I had it all on an external hard drive. It was still all gone. I was not a happy camper for a very long time about that. I didn't have a computer for... It wasn't that long. I think it was just barely maybe a month I didn't have a computer. So pretty much what happened was, at this point, like I say, I just spilled the beer and I lost my laptop. But at the same time, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise. Because this MacBook, even though I had it all stickered up and it looked so ghetto still with all those stickers, I thought it'd make it look cool. It didn't. I was on there, I was so bad with taking care of that MacBook. Never updated it. It was the slowest fucking computer you could ever imagine. This is a MacBook. That's how bad I took care of it. I decided to, I decided at one point I'm going to start saving and I'm going to buy a new MacBook. You know, I got it. I'm going to go fucking nuts if I don't. So I pretty much just kind of said, fuck it. And I started saving. Luckily, this kind of blessing in disguise kind of pushed me in the going forward and buying a new computer. What had happened was, so I spilled the beer and I was devastated. And then I was like, what the hell do I do? At this point, though, I wasn't sure if people were even watching this podcast or watching videos. So I was like, well, what do I really need it for? The embarrassing thing, I still play old school RuneScape. So I was like, that's the only really thing I need for it. But in the back of my head, I was kind of like, I do like computers. I don't game Xbox or anything. So I was like, I should just buy a computer. But I was like, maybe I'll just buy another laptop. But the crazy thing is, because I was like, at this point, I'm like, I just kind of want a computer. I just kind of want to just maybe even just play RuneScape and stuff. I wasn't even sure if I was going to come back into making content. Like I was like you know, I always do I always want to film. So I was kind of like debating. I was like, but the big thing is I'm not going to film if nobody's going to watch it. And that was my mindset back then. Nowadays, I just wanted to film so bad that I don't care about views or anything. But back then, and this was like November. I'm making it sound like it was like it was a year ago. But it was just in November. But the one thing that started happening was people, like my friends and stuff, started messaging me. They were messaging me saying, like, when's the next episode of this podcast coming out? I've been listening to every single one. And at first I thought people were just being nice. I'm like, no goddamn ways. Anybody listening to this shit? Like, the big thing is I'm a hard ass on myself when it comes to this shit. I'm just a hard ass more than anything. I don't really care. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not that I don't care. That's terrible to say. I always cared back then about the views, and I always cared if people were listening. But then I realized I have more fun just talking into this microphone than doing anything else ever. The fact that if you go on my BoyStick channel, I got to go talk on a radio show with Quinn Marr. That shit like made my life, and it pumps me up, and doing stuff like that makes me realize this shit is, I should have never cared about views or anything. I just like talking into a microphone, and if you get lucky, you get lucky, and you can make a living off of it, which would be the dream, to actually make a living off talking into microphones. But you never know, it might never happen. But I got a good job that makes me very happy. So if this stuff never worked out, they never did. But I would like to say, like, big shout out to like one of the only people that really, well, two people. So first of all, there's Nathan Breeze. That man has been hounding me nonstop. Even to this day, he hounds me and says like, where's the content? I keep telling people I just don't know what to talk about, and it's true. I didn't know what the hell to really talk about. I really was like, I got to stick on to music. I said there's going to be more of a music podcast. And nowadays, I'm like, I'm going to talk about whatever the fuck I want. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. And that's helping me a lot. And the big thing now is I don't really care about a deadline. I can upload video whenever the fuck I want. I can upload a podcast whenever the fuck I want. I'm not getting paid, so I can have a lot more fun doing it when it's on my time. The only thing right now is making time. I'm still pretty busy at work. But, so give a big shout out to Nathan Breeze, because he literally watched all the podcasts. He watched them all the way through, and he would text me and call me and give me feedback on my podcast. He would literally tell me stuff like, yeah, this part you sound a bit forced. You gotta stop with the, trying to do the shout outs. You gotta, and here I am doing a shout out. They sound forced. And to me, he's right. But at the same time, it's like, well, if I was on radio, I'd have to do that type of stuff. So, I kind of treat it now like a radio show and a podcast. And it's really making me think, like, God, I really need to try to get on the radio. The only shitty thing is, unless it's serious, with good the fuck luck there, I can't swear. And being on the radio show with Quinn Marr was a real eye-opener of, holy crap, I swear a lot. I had to really bite my cheek and really... I think I talked very slow. I don't know, though. But it really was like, wow, that was hard. But yeah, so Nathan Breeze definitely helps me really I guess get motivated to really want to do this, because he literally comments on every video and he gives feedback in person and tells, and I feel like with Nathan especially, if it was shit, he would tell me. And he hasn't told me his shit yet. And I'm on episode 19, which isn't a lot. I know I could be at 100 by now if I kept going for a year. But life sucks. I lost my laptop, which, I forgot to say, I bought a gaming tower with that. I'm getting off topic. So, oh yeah, I'm talking about this because, right. So, Nathan, big shout out to you, and shout out to Courtney. Courtney Warrens, I guess. I don't know if she took the last name. She just got married in the summer to my buddy, who in the future might be on here a lot. I'm talking to him, and he might be a surprise co-host for the Honestly Lazy podcast every once in a while. I don't think he'll be on it every week, but he'll definitely be doing some appearances a lot whenever he can. They just had a kid, so if she's listening to this right now, you better not be playing this around the kid because I'm swearing. But she hounded me the most out of everybody. Every time I saw her, she said, "Where the fuck's the next episode?" And I guess she had like a ritual, because I actually used to upload on a specific day, where she would like make a coffee and sit down and listen to the podcast, or she'd be cleaning and listening to it. But every time I see her, she literally says, "When you starting back up the podcast?" Which, once again, she's the same thing. If it was shit, she'd probably tell me it's fucking shit. So yes, shout out to Courtney too. So back to the other stuff. Like I just said, I bought a gaming tower. And I mean, what a difference when it comes to editing. There's no lag. Like when it came to editing BoyStick videos, like the old ones, those old 10-minute ones on the goddamn on the Mac, because I didn't take care of it. Oh my God, it was the fucking slowest thing. And I mean, I used to get frustrated. I lost a whole video that was almost done once because of how slow and how much it would render it. I lost a whole fucking video, and it was like a 12-minute long video, and I almost threw the thing out the goddamn window. I was so fucking mad. And I mean, this thing runs like a dream. If I would recommend anything to anybody, just buy a tower or a MacBook, a MacBook. Or not the MacBook, a Mac computer. I heard they're good too. But I kind of went for PC this time. I did that too with the fucking iPhone. I had an iPhone first, and I switched over to a Samsung, and I've never went back. Kind of the same thing happening here with the computers. And that's kind of helped me too, kind of really get back into podcasting and just making content in general. I mean, lately too, especially, I've been very inspired to kind of keep going with all this. On top of the fact that I'm still pretty much wanting to start HonestlyLazy.com, start a media company or something. I have no fucking game plan with that. Just a shitload of ideas, and I guess some people are interested in helping out. And I think if I just do literally what I'm doing right now, this is literally off the top of my head, and I had so many ideas I wanted to talk about, and here I am. I'm still pretty much on the first topic, and I've been chatting your ear off for almost a half hour. If I just keep doing it like this, I think I will have a lot more fun doing it. I felt very pressured, I guess, to kind of really talk or do anything. It sucked. Like, it almost started turning into a chore, because it was like every Thursday I wanted to upload a video. Or it was every Wednesday or every Thursday, one of those days. And it was just, like, it was too much. But doing it like this is actually a lot of fun. And it's actually, I didn't think I was going to do this. And I didn't think I was going to do it and actually have this much fun with this episode. Just this episode alone is actually like making me want to keep going. Like, I feel like I'm just starting up making content again. I think everything in the past year that's happened really is helping me as a person. I'm growing, and I really think that with content and everything, I think you're going to see a lot more of it, especially the podcast. Like BoyStick videos, not as much, just because I got to edit those. These are just you talk, you listen, you upload. I know I should edit the audio, but I'm fucking lazy. Honestly Lazy Podcast, I stand by that shit. But it's been an itch. I've been itching to fucking just get on this microphone and start talking again. And it's like this episode alone is very feeling therapeutic almost in a bunch of ways. I didn't think I would be having fun. I thought I'd be very bored or not feeling it, but just being back and talking, I'm very happy. I know this is probably a boring part for you guys, but it's my show. You sit there and listen. But yeah. Before people start asking where Craig St. Clair is, Gregory St. Clair, actually, that's what I start calling him. I miss the guy, I really do, but I don't think he'll ever come back and be a full-on co-host, which sucks. It sucks. That's one of those things that still bummed me out, that Craig is not a part of this anymore as much. I hope he comes back and does just a little guest appearance every once in a while, because that motherfucker's the only reason why this is Honestly Lazy was created, and I love it. So Craig, if you're listening to this, fucking miss you, bud. I think I just peaked there. But yeah, big things are coming. Actually, I have a lot of ideas, and I'm actually buying a Zoom. What's it called? A Zoom Pod Track something. It's pretty much like a portable Zoom recorder made for podcasting. What's it called? It's in my cart on Amazon. A Zoom Pod Track P4. It's a 4 mic plug-in thing, and especially with COVID and everything starting to, well, it's going to start reopening in June in Ontario. I want to get out and finally get some people on here. Like Nathan Breeze is coming on this podcast. I tweeted Ryan Woody from Mikes and Beers. I want him on the podcast. I want to have guests on this, and if you want to be a guest, just DM me somewhere. Twitter, BoyStick channel on Twitter. Find me and DM me, and maybe we can work something out. And if you want me to talk about anything specific, tweet at me on Twitter or on Instagram at BoyStick. And let me know, because if you want me to talk about something, I can bullshit. I can bullshit pretty well, I feel like. Oh, that's terrible to say. But I didn't bullshit the Highway House stories. That shit was fucking true. That was weird. But I think that will do it. First episode back, and it actually went smoother than I thought. Unless I fucking stop recording and I listen to the audio and it's glitch, and then I'll lose my goddamn mind. But hopefully it isn't. But if it's all good and you guys will be hearing this, it's good to be back. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe for more episodes. If you're on Anchor, I don't know if you can follow me there, but go ahead and follow the Honestly Lazy podcast on Twitter. Honestly Lazy Show is what it's called on Twitter. Or follow me at BoyStick for my own type of stuff, but I'm going to start posting Honestly Lazy too. Okay, yes, it is your boy Stick. It's been good talking to you, and I will see you soon. Bye.